Hi, I'm just reflecting on, the purpose of university education. Just coming from a meeting with an executive and just trying to wonder about supports for students who graduate and, whether or not their education actually leads them to live a better quality of life. And one of the things that I was actually questioning was, why is there this concentration of us in these differential positions? And I was talking to this person who has this nice, you know, sort of background with the universities, nice labels or whatever. He's been around for a long time, he's white male. But, it's just sometimes you have to engage with people in a way where you have to start using these academic methodologies because we're both educated people, but I was listening to some of his positionalities, and he wasn't even getting it. And I thought to myself, this is supposed to be an executive who's supposed to be sort of, you know, from this position to say, hey, we're supposed to support the students and stuff. Like, for example, students should go to alumni groups, and, it shouldn't just be about consumption culture. So, it was a very interesting meeting, and, I just have just an assignment to work on, which is good, to try and put things into perspective in sort of a strategic way to, activate better supports for students because I'm finding that, there aren't a lot of supports for students. And, how could you just have somebody finish education, so called, and just leave them out on the street? You have to assist in the transition. And one of the things I was trying to explain culturally is that we don't even have like these layering of, you know, sort of, this is one transition, this is one transition. Like, what, if you're interested in like knowing how to pump water or whatever, not a problem, that's what you're going to do. And you know what, you're going to be taken care of materially. But here in Canadian society, there's this suffering where we're supposed to be civilized and democratic, but it's all the opposite. And, I reflect on things like this and I'm like, you know what? You know, why don't people just stop talking bullshit? And you know what? Just be honest. Just, sorry, I was just checking to see if my battery fell out. Just be honest with what you're doing. Civil and democratic, that's the society that I think in theory, you know, is being projected. But practically, it's not the case because, what I see in Toronto, for example, who's unemployed? People of color. And then I'm like, wow, this is interesting. The union environments have people that think the same. So where is that critical consciousness and how do you actually integrate that? We'll see what happens with this university education as well. It hasn't started and it hasn't finished yet. Thanks.